What is up, people? It is I, Sergeant 16-Bit. Hey, let's actually play something from my childhood for once. Scooby-Doo Mystery. Or just Scooby-Doo, okay? For Super Nintendo. I guess even official games have trouble with identity. On the off chance you don't know what Scooby-Doo is, it's about a group of meddling kids and their talking dog, Scooby-Doo, solving mysteries related to criminals disguised as monsters to scare people. Sounds pretty silly when you say it out loud. In the early 90s, when reruns of the show began to resurface on Cartoon Network, Acclaim created a side-scrolling adventure game for the Super Nintendo with the assistance of Sunsoft and Argonaut, and made a completely different game with the same title for the Sega Genesis with the help of Illusions Game Company. I had the SNES version as a kid, so naturally I have more nostalgia for that one. Is it as good as I remember it, though? Sounds like a mystery, eh, Scoob? Yeah! The game starts out on a spooky pirate ship known as the Red Ryan. Red Ryan, rum! The graphics are amazing. They look just like the cartoon. Some things are off, like the miniatures and Shaggy's hair color, but such are the limitations of 90s technology. The music consists of faithful recreations of the background music from the show. The Super Nintendo's sound card really does it justice. Our first adversary comes in the form of this ghost pirate, who gives our heroes a good scare. Ruh-roh! Luckily, Daphne is nearby to give us a Scooby snack to bring our fright meter back down. The fright meter serves as your hit points. If it raises all the way, you lose a life. To find clues, you look around and pick them up. Sometimes they're invisible until you sniff them out. Now, this first level makes the search spots more obvious, but that's because this is the tutorial. Later on, you'll have to do more of the sniffing on your own accord. That's good, though. New players can learn the ropes easily for when they take on later levels. When you find an item, bring it to Velma. If it's an item you can use, like a weapon, she'll let you know. If it's a clue, you'll progress through the level. If you get stuck, talk to Fred. He'll give you suggestions on how to progress. With that in mind, let's get busy! Oh crap, it's Ghost Pirate! Bowl him over with the trolley? Oh, okay. You get a variety of weapons in this game, most of them throwing objects. Unfortunately, most of them arc over everything. The trolley in this first level works okay, though, and the only times on level 1 that involved throwing stuff involved close quarters and favorable trajectory angles. Each level has a brief platforming section. These are not my favorite part of the game. Don't get me wrong, I love 2D platformers, but Shaggy's short jump height makes these sections unnecessarily difficult. Not only that, but you receive fall damage. And don't tell me Shaggy is too wimpy to jump higher or too clumsy to land more gracefully. According to the official canon of the show, Norval Shaggy Rogers was a track star and a gymnast. However, you don't receive a whole lot of fall damage, so it could be worse. Once you find enough clues, it's time to... Talk to Fred and he'll show you the blueprint for his booby trap. Booby. Upon catching the baddie, you do what else but unmask him and hear his reasons for scaring people off. And he would have gotten away with it too, say it with me now, if it weren't for those meddling kids. Next mystery's at the fun fair. So, who's our next scuzz bucket?
The evil clown!
By the way, that was the late Casey Kasem providing that voice. Oh yeah, the original Shaggy. Not that I have a problem with Billy West. You're great, Billy West. Well, the second level is second verse same as the first, but with different weapons and level design. But that kind of consistency with different twists between levels is important in all games. However, this level has a huge problem with its enemies. Every now and then, you'll be minding your own business, but then this wolf doofus teleports in out of nowhere. He has no pattern to when he appears. Often you'll either find yourself surrounded, or with not enough time to react. Aw, come on! He spawned right in front of the door! Sometimes for no reason, your weapons don't do jack squat. If you're patient enough, however, you'll find that the next level lacks these issues. Here in the swamp you face the villain from Godzilla NES Creepypasta? Actually, this is this game's take on the tar monster. The original looked way better. Unlike the last level, the enemies here have more of a pattern to their spawns. Nothing feels particularly unfair, except of course the inadequate jumping height. Pissing and moaning aside, I was eventually able to get used to it, unlike the enemy spawns in level 2. The fourth and final level takes place in a good old-fashioned haunted house. Yeah, now we're really talking! Our final boss comes in the form of the phony vampire Count Bagosi. Ha! Cute. This level featured more scripted, unavoidable bump-ins with the Count, but it isn't so bad when you remember to grab some Scooby snacks. Plus, it only happens in the beginning. Ah, the old fake antique armor trick. I can't believe it, game, but you got me. Once you catch the Count and unmask him, the game just ends. No ending cutscene, no special music, just the game over screen, but with "Congratulations!" and smiles all around. How anticlimactic. Then you get sepia photos of the staff in old-timey clothing? Okay. Other than the ending and the bullcrap with level 2, this game is groovy! Isn't that right, Scoob? Scooby-Dooby-Doo! The whole game has a laid-back atmosphere, which helps it keep true to the show. Throughout the whole game, you feel like you're, to a degree, living a few episodes of the show. Sure, it's not that long, but it ought to give you, or any younger fans of the show, an afternoon of entertainment. You know, since the Sega Genesis version is completely different, I'll have to check it out sometime. Until then, I'm Sergeant 16-Bit. Bye-bye. Ruby Rack? Sure, I'll trade you some Temflakes. Jinkies. Who read it?